Trace Trylko, Sons of UCF. Final score, West Virginia 41, UCF 28. Knights still searching for that elusive first win in the Big 12. Post-game reaction from head coach Gus Malzahn and players. More of the same and what you'd expect. Self-inflicted wounds, inability to stop the run, and again, an inability to close out a game in the fourth quarter.
Okay, congratulations, West Virginia. Obviously, we're disappointed losing at home the way we did. You look at the first half, they drive to 76, 71, 64. I think it was 17-14. We were coming out of half, had the football, feeling pretty good about what they were trying to do defensively and how we could take advantage. I think we got down to the 32-yard line. We had like a deep post with a cross. Javon fell down, and I guess JR didn't see him. Interception, and then from then it was just uphill battle. The bottom line is you're not going to beat anybody for the most part. Turn the ball over 4 times. We turned the ball over 4 times. We had a 4th down, disappointing. They were really good at running the football. We knew that, their quarterback. But we couldn't get them off the field. But it's a combination of not being able to stop the run and turn the ball over 4 times. That was really what did it. It's real disappointing. To get beat not only at home, but to get beat like that. So we got to get better, and we got to improve and find a way to get our first victory in the league. Questions?
Like more about this turnovers and what the moments were, especially in the first half. Javon, it looked like he was going to come down with it, and it just pops in the air before you know it's an interception.
Yeah, that was a tough deal right there. We did think we had a deep post that went single high. We threw a one-on-one ball. He kind of cut back. Him and the DB were both kind of chicken fighting right there. He came back. I thought he did a good job, and thought he had the ball and kicked off his knee, and they got it. But hey, that's part of it. We got to find a way to overcome it. But that was took away some points.
Gus, you guys have tried to stay optimistic through this losing streak. What's your message to your team now coming off this disappointing loss?
Well, I'm just honest with them. I mean, we didn't play good enough. We turned the ball over 4 times, couldn't stop the run. They're a pretty good team. I think everybody saw that. You look at the time of possession, they had the ball for 12 more minutes. We talked about us trying to control the clock and not letting them. But that's exactly what happened. When you can't stop the run, turn the ball over 4 times, that happens.
Coach, I don't know if this is optimism or if it adds to the frustration, but 9 for 12 on 3rd down, easily your best 3rd down conversion performance on the year. Is that something you used to build on into next week?
Yeah, I mean, when you get beat like we did at home, I mean, that's something we'll talk about in meetings. That 9 and 12. Bottom line is we got beat by 3 scores. So we got to do better. We got to get off the field on 3rd down. That was a big factor too.
You talked about not doing better defensively against the run. What changed from last week?
I'll have to look at it on film. I really thought we'd do a good job stopping the run. Give those guys credit. Bottom line is, we did a good job last week for the most part until the 4th quarter. But today, we couldn't stop them. They got on the edge a couple times with a little slide block action. The quarterback got on the edge. They had us reeling there in the first half. I thought we would settle down in the second half and do better.
What has to change? 5 league games, 5 losses. The window to get to a bowl is very slim.
Yeah, we got to find a way to win the first one. I mean, I think that's the bottom line. Every week, this schedule, I think everybody sees it. I mean, this is a quality league. If you don't play good, you're not going to win. We played good last week. We didn't win. We didn't play good today. We didn't win. We got to find a way to play good.
You mentioned Monday there's strengths in running the football and controlling the clock, and yet they were able to do that to you guys as well. So how did you try to game plan against it throughout the week?
Well, obviously we didn't do it. That was a focus of us, mine, and it was, for the staff. We didn't get it done, so obviously it didn't carry over. Our plan obviously wasn't good enough because that's exactly what they did.
During the game, what ways did you notice that plan wasn't being executed properly?
Well, when we couldn't stop the run, we couldn't get off field 3rd down. And I know I keep sounding like a broken record, but we moved the football, and when you turn the ball over, and we kind of self-destructed in that area. I think we caught it 1 time, the whole game. So it's a combination of those things. They did have some short fields too. And I think they scored after just about every time we turned the football over. And anytime we turn the football over and the other team goes down and scores touchdowns, it's a bad combination. And that's what happened today.
Xavier Thompson was a major contributor last week. He was absent this week. What did that provide to this team?
First of all, Baker his first start. Xavier Townsend, one of our best players, he couldn't go. We tried to rehab and all that during the week, and we gave him an opportunity pregame. He just couldn't do it. Hopefully we'll have him back next week. But Jared Baker stepped in and did a really good job.
Gus, when you look at John Wright's performance, I mean the interceptions, what can you attribute to that? Was it just something they were doing differently, maybe to confuse him a little bit, or was it just maybe?
Well, I think we talked about the first one. I thought it was a good throw. You underthrew it, it bounced up, and it kicked. The one coming out of halftime, I mean, that was a deep post with a climb. The climb is wide open, and Javon fell down. I mean, just him and the DB got tangled up, and then the guy gets up, and he's right there, and I guess he didn't see him. The one right before half, our protection broke down. The dude comes right up the middle. I'd like him to dish it off and threw the thing up right there. We got to do a better job coaching him. But a couple of those were pretty unfortunate.
Obviously, the schedule is a huge step up from last year. But what's the difference with the team? I mean, is it just not depth? Is it not getting pushed in certain areas? Why are you not as successful this year as you were last year?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably a combination of all the above. I mean, this is definitely a step up in competition, but we knew that. We prepared for that. You got to play good quality football. You got to play good enough to win. You got to play good enough on defense and offense. One group can't play good, and one can't play bad. We've had a little bit of that now today. It's the turnovers, not being able to stop the run, but that's been the story of the year. Putting a complete game together. We really did it one time all year. It was Oklahoma. We ended up getting beat from short.
Earlier this week, you said it's hard for teams to get better in the second half of the season, but your team needed to. How is today perhaps a setback to that?
I really thought we'd play better. I'm really disappointed from that standpoint. We were set up to play better. We didn't today, especially the second half. Question?
One more.
Anything else?
Go ahead, last one.
So we're coming off of a 5-game losing streak and looking ahead next week, Cincinnati, a team we are super familiar with. What's the message to the team for next week?
Yeah, the message, we got to figure out a way to put this behind us. That's the message. You're exactly right. Our players know that bunch well. We know that bunch well is one of our rivals. We need to find a way to go there and get it back.
I really don't know. We're gonna have to watch the film and see what we're hitting at and about to correct it.
Jason, you guys have been optimistic, even going through this losing streak lately. What's the mood right now in the locker room, and what do you guys need to do to bounce back and change things up?
At the end of the day, we got to stay together, and we got to just continue to work each day to get better. So we can't give up on the season.
How surprised are you at what just happened? Because coming off Oklahoma, everybody felt like we're still a good team. We're showing we're a good team. And then this.
Yeah, I don't know. We got to get off the field on defense, and that's about it.
But are you shocked? I mean,
Yeah, I know. I ain't really expected it, but you always expect to win. So,
What's the hardest thing about being on a losing streak like this?
just keeping our locker room together, and not splitting up.
Do you feel that that's happening, that you're staying together?
I think everybody's staying positive and is trying to stay together in the best they can.
The game plan, obviously, from what Gus had mentioned, was ball control and stopping the run. So how did you guys game plan for that throughout the week, and what maybe were the deficiencies that you saw in game that were breakdowns?
Like I said, I really don't know where it's hitting. The runs was hitting that, so we got to watch the film and see and correct it.
As these losses continue to pile up, is there a mentality change in you guys? Is there any doubt, or what is the fuel going into next week? How are you guys feel mentally?
Just coming back day by day and getting better. That's the main thing. You can't give up.
You talked about keeping the locker room together. How big of a role then does that fall on you guys as the leaders to make sure that the younger guys maybe don't lose focus or kind of tune things out with everything going on?
We just tell everybody to stay together and just don't drink the poison and just keep fighting and do the best you can.
What were the guys feeling at halftime in the close game at that point? Were you guys feeling pretty confident that you could shut them down, or how did halftime go?
Yeah, we was feeling confident because the last two drives before the halftime we stopped them, so we was confident going into halftime.
What do you think worked well last week that didn't carry over this week?
Yeah, I mean, it hurts. Nothing really else you can say about
Because I asked Jason, how as leaders, you guys being you guys have been around the longest, how do you keep the younger guys and everyone together to make sure that locker room doesn't maybe split apart with all this going on?
Yeah, and I mean, it's our team. As leaders, we just got to step up. Like you said, it's hard for people are going to fall apart, and that's not what we are here at UCF. We're a team, we're a family, and we're more than just football. So we're just going to stick together, keep grinding together.
Lokahi, again, I don't know if this is optimism or frustration as I ask you, but you guys did particularly well on offense on third down, had another 100-yard rusher for the third straight week. Is that stuff that you could kind of use to build next week into next week as an offensive line, or is it just kind of added frustration, or what does that help? What way does that help?
I mean, the biggest thing for us on offense, it doesn't matter if one guy goes for 100 or if one guy catches the ball for 200. All 11 guys have to do their job on every single snap, every single play. So, congratulations to RJ. Good for us, but we want to win games. It's not about stats. It's not about anything.
When the offense moves the ball as well as it did, how deflating are the turnovers, the self-inflicted wounds again?
Yeah, self-inflicted wounds. I mean, that's something we harp on. We harp on it every day. Keeping the ball, we don't turn over the ball, we win the game. And that's our mentality every time we step on the field. So, I mean, just putting it together, putting it in all four quarters, being able to execute every assignment. Like I said, all 11 guys doing their job. Not whoever threw the ball or whatever, he may have threw a pick, but it may not have been his fault. So, I mean, we're going to have to watch the film and we have to get better.
I know you guys were on a 4-game losing streak, but after last week, it still felt like everybody was, moving in one direction, had some momentum, had some positive vibes, and then it's like, what does it feel like when something like this happens?
Man, it's a test of character. We're about to figure out who UCF is really, and I know the team we got in the locker room, and I know the boys I play with, and I know that we're fighters and we're strong and we'll stand the test of time. And this university is not going anywhere, so we're gonna fight. And the rest of the season, you'll see the best UCF football team there is, just giving their 100% every snap.
You guys responded after a few of the touchdowns, but when it was a 3-point game, the turnovers would kind of happen. So was that just how did you guys kind of emotionally kind of keep your heads up, or try to not let each of those plays when the game was still out there to be won make too much of an effect on you?
I mean, football is a team sport, so we got to play complementary ball. If our defense gets a stop, we got to go down there and score. If we get stuffed, our defense got to go there and stop them. You know what I mean? So, like I said, it's all 11. We're going to go in, watch the film, and we'll figure it out. But one thing we're going to do is stick together. We're going to be as one team, and we'll figure this out.
There were a lot of festivities going into this game with it being homecoming week. Does this loss hurt worse, knowing that alum nights and all the other things leading up to this were happening?
I mean, every loss, they all add up. It doesn't really matter if festivities or not, homecoming or not. We got to win games. That's what the crowd comes here to do. That's what our family comes here to watch us. They watch us to win games. So.
Familiar foes next week with Cincinnati. What are you guys expecting out of that, just to get back on track?
I mean, we'll start tomorrow. We've been focused on West Virginia this whole time, so when we get on the road again next week, we look forward to going out there and getting the dub.
You look at John Rice's performances, Jekyll and Hyde, so to speak, with touchdowns and then interceptions. What was his attitude after the game, or how was he after the game?
I mean, everybody's down after the loss. But the main thing, like we said, we're leaders. We step up. We can't have any bad days, no matter what. He's not showing it. He's positive, as always. It's all good out. John Rice, he's an amazing guy, on and off the field.
Feels like this question's been asked the last several weeks. You played in the American. What is the difference between winning in the American and losing games in the Big 12?
Playing 4 quarters football. That's about it. Doing our job 4 quarters every single snap.
So what next? Head coach Gus Malzahn and players didn't have much in the way of answers following this one. In order for the Knights to become bowl eligible, they're going to have to win 3 of their final 4, which seems like a tall task. First things first, though, getting that first Big 12 win, maybe Saturday at Cincinnati against a familiar AAC foe. For the Sons of UCF, I'm Trace Trylko.